the FSM, CNMI, Republic of Palau, and the Republic of the Marshall Islands. With that, with the staff of 3, we have a daunting task ahead of us, especially with this military buildup that's come about. And a lot of that coordination and collaboration is made with the USDA and Joe Diego and his office to ensure that we are meeting the needs of the small business community. We also, as part of our mission statement, besides being an advocate, we also provide financial assistance through our guarantee loan programs with the existing lenders here in Guam. In addition to that, we also are dealing with procurement opportunities that you can avail yourself to federal contracts, both from the military as well as any federal entity out there. I'd be the FBI for security purposes, SBA, USDA, any federal agencies that you're looking at. And the fourth element of our program is the business development aspect of it all. The Small Business Development Center here in Guam, which is directed by Casey Jazenka, who's in the audience, and also co-directed along with Georgette Rages and counselors with Denise Herslick and Rodney Webb. They're there to help and provide free services in preparing your business plan as well as giving you one-to-one counseling. And so with that gamut of programs that are available to you, we can help you from the start all the way to, and hopefully not to the finish, but through the expansion process of your business activities. So with that, that's how we are able to help and assist you with it. And if anyone asks me if there are any plans on retiring, no. I think I'm going to be here for a long time. Hopefully by the next time you see me, I may not have that much hair or a lot more gray hair than what I have now. But in the meantime, I am here as an advocate, as a supporter of small businesses, and to help you develop your business and be part of that Pacific Tiger that we're referencing today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken. And don't you run away. Now we'll hear from Gail, who will be speaking to us about economic development. Gail?
Well, as I've told you, I am an economic developer, and a lot of people don't really know much about economic development. Although they hear the term thrown around a lot, they don't necessarily understand what it is. We are going to talk today not just about what economic development is, but how it would be performed on the island of Guam. How I, as a professional ED person, see your economy growing. And I have sat through the 2 days of presentations. I have changed my own presentation 3 times because one of the first things you learn in economic development is to know your client. If you're a good ED person, you never look at anything from your own perspective. You look at it from the perspective of your client. And I am thinking of my audience today as my client. So I wanted to know everything that you feel about Guam and its economic activity, its foundations for economic development, which I'll speak about in a minute. And I have had a great opportunity to do that by being here for 2 days with you. That's why my presentation has changed 3 times. Guam, the making of a Pacific Tiger. First, it'd be a good idea to review the Tiger strategy. There are a couple of economies that I will use as examples that actually Claret, Ruane, really drew my attention to. We have kind of collaborated on this. And one, we could use an example, well, we'll say Shanghai and Singapore for Asian tigers. They are considered the Asian tiger economies. Then the Celtic tiger, and that is the one that Claret, in her synopsis, compared Guam to. And in so doing, kind of proposed a thesis, so to speak, of how Guam could become the Pacific Tiger, because no one has done that yet. This island has such a golden opportunity here, with or without an influx of increased military presence. It is in the ideal situation for making the best of its economy right now. So this is a plan for creating a diverse and sustainable economy for the citizens of Guam. Anything that is not sustainable is not economic development. It is fly-by-night, seat of the pants, bringing in businesses and hoping it works. SWOT analysis in economic development, looking at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But we decided we would keep it simple. Next slide. And call it Product Guam. And look at the benefits of our product to start with. Guam is just a beauty. It is lovely here. You have scenic splendor. You have the beautiful ocean, some mountains. It is the topography, the vegetation, the flora, fauna, all of that, wonderful. Climate. Apparently you have a rainy season and a dry season. I'm supposed to be in the rainy season. Looks pretty good to me. You also have cultural diversity, and this is a big plus. We'll talk about that more too. But cultural diversity, as opposed to a truly homogeneous society, is a big advantage because it brings in many different viewpoints, and it brings in the advantages that we have been able, through centuries of intermarriage and movement around our earth, been able to bring people more and more toward the best they can be. That's the advantage of cultural diversity. You have a water supply, and here you probably don't even really think about it. You're in the middle of an ocean, and you know that you have a great aquifer, so you're in good shape. But I'm from Arizona. We worry about water. And in California, they worry about water, and they're on an ocean too. You're very, very fortunate to have the aquifer that you do. I work for the city of Eloy. I live in Phoenix, which is part of Maricopa County, 22 cities, over half the population of the state of Arizona, huge area, high growth. We have a Groundwater Replenishment Act. As a result of that, when you are in what are called attainment zones, you must put back into the aquifer as much water as you take out. That's how important water is to Arizona. It's critical. You're fortunate. Keep it that way by already doing that before you have to. I noticed that 10% is coming out. Don't even let 10% come out. There are so many scientific methods for changing gray water, and now even black water, into potable water. Go ahead and do it. Work with that green initiative, and you'll never have to worry about water. Stability of government. That is so important. I've traveled a lot in the Caribbean, and stability of government is extremely important for your tourism, for your children, for your own health and safety. Having a federal government like the United States, the big man, think of it as a friend, because it is just huge. And your educational facilities. I'm extremely impressed with the University of Guam, with the leadership here. I don't know if you realize it, but Arizona State, the largest university, unless you count the University of Phoenix, which is the largest private one in the world, Arizona State used to be called a party school. Everybody loved going to Tempe and going to Arizona State because they could party. But it didn't have much in the way of credentials as a learning institution. Fortunately, I just read Michael Crow has changed that around. He is one of the 10 best presidents right now, according to Time magazine. Pretty incredible. And all he did was focus on, hey, these kids are supposed to be here to get an education. I mean, I'm glad we're getting all these out-of-state dollars, but it'd be nice if they came out with a degree that meant something. So he got it in his mind that he wanted to change that around, and he did. But you need to want it. That's what's important. Your university is outstanding. This